Hi there, team players. Welcome to today's physical health education class with Miss Anne Okara. I remember that in our physical health education, we've been looking at games and sports. We've looked at football, we've looked at hockey. Today, can you guess what sport we're looking at? Beautiful. We're looking at tennis. We're looking at either you call it lawn tennis or you call it table tennis. But today, we're looking at the sport and the game called tennis. Okay, so let's get right into it. What is tennis? Tennis is an exciting racket sport that you can play as singles or doubles. So tennis is a game that uses now in football we've learned to use your feet in playing a football is in the name football. In hockey we learned that we make use of what hockey sticks to play hockey. Now in tennis, to make use of what is called a racket. If you look over at this picture, you can see this lady. She's holding an equipment in her hand. What she's holding in her hand, it looks like a net. It's called a racket. Okay, so that is what you make use of when you're playing the game called tennis. So tennis you can play as a singles, that is one person against one person, or you can play as doubles, two people against another set of two people. Okay, so in every sport, it always has team. You're always playing against somebody. So either you're one person against one person or two people against two people. So singles is one against one, doubles is two against two. Okay, so that is what tennis is all about. Now the goal of tennis is very simple. All you have to do is to hit the ball. So you're going to have a table. Okay, depending if it's a table tennis, you have this green colored table with a net dividing it. So one side for team A, the other side for team B. So there's a net that is standing as a barricade. Okay, so you are supposed to hit the ball with the racket over to your person, over to your opponent, trying to make sure that the opponent doesn't catch the ball. But when it comes to lawn tennis, there's this super big net on a field. Okay, it's very big. So you're on one side of the net, your opponent is on the other side of the net. So you have your racket, your opponent has their racket, and you're just trying to hit the ball, trying to make sure that your opponent doesn't catch the ball. So if your opponent is not able to catch the ball with their racket, a point for you. So the goal is very simple. Just hit the ball over the net and try to score points by making it hard for your opponent to return. So it's all about catching the ball with the racket and just trying to make sure that you hit the ball in a way that your opponent is not able to catch it back using their racket, and then you score the points. Now let's talk about a brief history of tennis. Tennis began in France in the 12th Tennis began in France in the 12th century, evolving into the modern game in England. Today, tennis is one of the world's most popular sports with iconic tournaments like Wimbledon. So, football is a very super popular sport, and tennis is also a very popular sport. Now, what are the equipments that we need to play tennis? We need to have a court. Okay, we need to have a court. If we are playing lawn tennis, we need to have a court. That is a field, and the field should be divided by a net. Okay, so if we are playing singles game, one person on one side of the net, the other person on the other side of the net. But if we are playing doubles game, two people on one side of the net, the other two people on the other side of the net. So we need to have a court if we are playing lawn tennis, so a field divided by a big net. And if we are playing table tennis, we just need to have still a court, a place to place a table with the net dividing, and then we need our rackets. Rackets is the main tool that is used in playing table tennis. Okay, so you normally need to hit the ball back and forth. Then we need our tennis ball. The tennis ball is usually green in color, very small and bouncy. Okay, so it's usually yellowish green in color. Then you need to have your tennis shoes. Okay, so remember that every sport has the equipment with which they use to play ball. Football has your feet, hockey has your sticks, now tennis has your racket. And you need to have your tennis shoe, you need to have your court, and then your ball. So we've learned about different types of ball. So football is black and white, hockey is usually small and hard, and now tennis is usually small and yellow green. Now every sport, as we've learned so far, has rules. What are the rules of tennis? Tennis begins with a serve. So when you are holding the ball about to strike with your racket, that is called your serving. Okay. Now players score points when their opponent fails to return the ball. So every time you hit the ball with your racket and your opponent is not able to catch, it lands on the floor when your opponent is trying to return back to you. So that's the points for you. And then we have the scoring system of 15 points, 30 points, 40 points, and game. A match usually often best 3 or 5 sets. Okay. Now the scoring basics. Let's talk about how the scoring works. There's something called love when nobody has a point. So at the starting, everybody has a point called love. That is 0 points for me, 0 points for you. Then if there is a tie, we have equal points. Okay, I have maybe 11 points, you have 11 points. It's called a deuce. And then an advantage is, when you have a tie, a draw, we have to have a deal breaker. So somebody, we keep playing until we have a winner. Okay, so that point is called advantage. So when we have a tie and then, okay, let's play again until we can get the winner. So when we have finally have a winner, the point that is called after having a tie, remember the tie is called a deuce. So the point that is called after having a tie is called advantage. So when we are both starting the game, I have 0 points, you have 0 points, it's called love. If we are both side having the same score, it's called deuce. And if one of us is able to score a point after being tied, it is called an advantage. So the first person to win 6 games with a lead of 2 wins a set. Now, we need techniques and skills in playing table tennis or lawn tennis. What are some of these key technical skills? The first one is called a forehand. That is a powerful shot using your dominant side of the body. So you understand, you have your racket in your hand and that is called your forehand. Then you have a backhand where you use both hands or one hand to add variety. So you are trying to hit, you're trying to hit. So this motion is called what? Your backhand. And you have your serve. Remember I told you your serve starts each point. So it depends. That is you trying to, toss the ball over to your opponents. And you have volley. Volley is when you strike the ball mid-air close to the net for a quick point. Now, safety on the court. When playing games, this sport they can be super rough, so you need safety rules on the court. So before you start up playing a lawn tennis or a table tennis game, you have to warm up before the match to prevent injuries. Then you also have to wear proper shoes for stability. Then you need to stay hydrated and take breaks as needed. So that is that about hockey. I'm sorry, that is that about table tennis or lawn tennis. And we have come to the end of today's class. See you next time. Bye.